ladies and gentlemen, how you doing this evening? This is Message SOS. I'm your host, Calvin, and we're glad you're joining us this evening. We had a couple of technical difficulties there, but don't pay no attention to that. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I have joining us the multi-talented Miss Pearl Jr. Yeah. You're author, filmmaker, writer. You're doing it all, directing. How you doing? Yeah. I'm sorry I left that one out. I'm sorry. I don't know how I left that out. Yeah, you've been doing that a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been doing some of that together. Yeah. So, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm great with you. I'm great with you. We're blessed to be here.
Yes.
And so now you have this book here. This was your first book, The Climate. And so what year did you write this book?
I think I wrote it in the year 2000. It was published in 2001. And that's how we met.
Yeah, you over in the Crenshaw.
At the Crenshaw Mall. That's right. I was doing a book signing.
Right.
And you were doing another kind of a show at that time.
Yeah. Same show.
Same show.
Yeah,
Message SOS. Been going on 21 years or maybe longer.
Yeah, since 1996 for me.
Wow.
Wow. 2001. That's 21 years.
Wow.
We've been around a little while,
And so you said, what you got? And I said, well, I got a book about race and the creation of the races and, not only how we look, but also the mentalities, based on our original indigenous climatic habitats. You were like, ooh, that's interesting. Would you like to come on my show?
And it's still interesting.
I said, sure.
Yeah, that's how we got started for sure.
Yeah.
We've done quite a number of shows together.
21 years.
Yeah, different places. Yeah. Activists and all that. We've been talking about it. Yeah, working on it. And so, can you give me a little deeper into the climate? What was it? Why did you want to write The Climate?
Well, I minored in college and I graduated CSUN. Class of 1989. Another hand of applause for that. Yeah. And I majored in radio, TV, film, but I minored in African American studies.
Okay.
And I always wanted to know, well, why was there racism? What the heck is that all about?
Right.
Where did it come from? And one of my professors of African studies, he said, nobody else had an answer that really made a lot of sense to me, right? Until this one professor, he said, well, some people blame it on the climate. And I remember following him, and when he said that, I stopped. I stopped, and I was dumbfounded, the climate. So then I started studying the climatic habitats of the races. And every time I answered a question, I asked another question, and then I gathered up so much information, and I was like, "Oh my God, I need to share this." So therefore, and there's the book, The Climate. And what I discovered is that back 3.5 million years ago, we're all called humanids, and the first humans were called Australopithecus.
Well, educated.
And they were in Africa 3.5 million years ago. So there's been a lot of evolution. And the first race had to be black, because out of black come everything else.
Correct.
Not out of white comes black, but out of black comes white through albinism. And I started learning about the climate and climatic habitats and migration and how everything got migrated, like the Asians with the epicantic fold on their eyes, because a lot of rains and monsoons, so their eyelashes go down, and it just kind of protects their eyes from the debris falling around and all the rain and everything.
Progression and adaptation.
Right. It's called natural selection, And they even did a study on natural selection with a fruit fly. And it happens with animals, plants, human beings. So whatever is necessary for survival in a certain climatic habitat, eventually that trait will become prominent among that group.
Right.
So, and then not only that, did all the races, I already explained albinism. So the two black people can make an albino, which is a blonde hair, light skin, blue eyed white person whose parents are both black. It still happens to this day. Well, they can't take the sun and they really can't see. So they had to migrate to cooler temperatures and sunless temperatures, which was up north. And that's why, there's Morocco, and then there's Spain, which tips Morocco, which is Europe. And then there's the Portuguese and all the white people, and that's how that kind of got habitated. And so I talk about that, but the most important part was how mentalities got developed. And if you came from a climate where the animals were very scarce, where there weren't very many animals, there wasn't very many plants could grow when it's really cold, right? There's not, the animals go away, the birds fly, what are you going to eat? And if it's cold, where are you going to stay? Of course, you're going to stay in a cave. And people think that's an insult. No, a cave was a home.
Good to have anyway.
Yes, good to have. Thank you for relief from this cold weather. Thank you.
Yes, thank God.
Thank God. Right. Thank God for providing. But through that became survival of the fittest, and since everything was scarce, I need to eat that. No, I need to eat it. So you become a very selfish and very brutal mentality. And to where in Africa, even to this day, we have the most animals in Africa. To this day, that's where it is. Well, it still has plentiful animals, plush, greenery, Garden of Eden.
Or it was, anyway.
That's right. But in certain parts of Africa, you can still see. That's where they go for safaris to see the most beautiful big mammals in the world.
Where everything come from.
Everything. So, and our mentality wasn't as cruel and selfish. So when we met, they're going to overtake us because we're like, we didn't know you were that mean. We didn't understand, because we're not that way. So, and so it's, of course I'm simplifying it, but this book is really fantastic.
It sounds like intelligent design, and the strongest people will put him started first.
Well,
that's the way it seems. Great book. That was a great book, though. That's a good read. And so now we have.
And there's a lot more, but that's the gist. There's a lot more.
Okay. Yeah. So, people should really check that book out.
The Climate, A Perspective Unvisited.
Yeah, we're going to have you give some information out in a moment. This is, the next book is Black Women Need Love Too. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, Black Women Need Love Too. Yeah, black men, we need love too.
Well, I say
we want to love you. We want to love you.
Do you all? I don't know. I know you do, Calvin, but you know. But there was just too many single black women out there. Just too many. And I don't. Too many single black women. Just too many. And so I wrote this book to let people know that we are ready and willing and able to be loved, and we deserve to be loved just like any other woman does deserve to be loved. And sometimes we as black women forget that. And sometimes some black men forget that too. And it's exposing the conspiracy to keep black women without love. And what that means is, as long as we're struggling and we're one parent household, or we're one person doing something, then you can't do as much as two people.
No.
And if two people are both working, or two people are both paying the bills, or if one person's paying the bills and the other one's taking care of the household, it makes it easier. And so as long as we're struggling, our children don't have as much of a chance to overall become successful. So there's a plot. It's systemic racism to keep us single, to keep us struggling, to keep us
generational.
That's right. That's exactly right. And the reason why I like this book is because I put Black Women Need Love Too, and it reminds me of Black Lives Matter. And a lot of people I think they should have said Black Lives Matter Too.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are like, all lives matter. What do you mean? No. When I say black women need love, a lot of people could say, what do you mean? Everybody needs love, but black women need love too. Include me in that. Right. Include me in that.
Right.
Black lives matter too. Include me in that. You know what I mean? And so it just kind of it's more of an inclusive message, you know.
We're excluded from everything.
Well, we can do a little bit better, and we got to work at it, you know.
Yeah. So now we got President Barack Obama. Yeah. First black president in American history.
Now, this is a documentary that Cecil and me and my partner Cecil Holmes did.
Okay, how you doing, Cecil?
And it's called Barack Obama: The Power of Change, and it's about, of course, it was the first documentary released about his historic campaign. We was getting that done. Once we knew him and Michelle had credentials of Harvard, we were like, oh, done.
Yeah.
We ready to do this, right?
Education.
Well, because it's accepted by the masses.
And good people.
And, oh my God, such great people. And so I followed him, and while I was promoting this, I was able to campaign for him at the same time.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Experience.
So when I'm promoting, I was campaigning. We was gonna make that happen, and we made it happen twice.
Right.
So we have a lot of power as the black population, because white people are usually split half and half.
Yeah.
You know, even the Latinos are split half and half. When we get in the mix, we're like skewed all to one side if we really put our efforts into it, like we did with Barack Obama.
Back in the day.
And back in the day. So that was a really good one. So it's about his historic campaign, really about him and Hillary. But Oprah Winfrey's in it, Michelle Obama's in it. Oh, Michelle. Oh my God, she's fantastic. Caroline Kennedy's in it. Stevie Wonder's in it.
Oh, wow.
I think more people are in it. I just can't remember because it was such a long time ago. This came out in 2008. And but you know, it's some of his full speeches. You know, because sometimes you just hear the sound bites, so it's nice to hear a full speech.
Yeah. Young lady, you have been busy.
Oh, and you ain't even got to the recent stuff. This is all old.
Yeah. But it's new to some other people who haven't seen it. So why don't you tell the people where they can contact you and purchase your books or look up online?
Well, right now you can just Pearl Jr. You can just Google Pearl Jr. And you should be able to look for these, because right now the website, I think I might still have my True Talk website up. True Talk, TRUTALK.US.
And that was the TV show.
Yeah, True Talk, straight out of LA. You remember the TV show? Yeah. And that brings us to how I got into the life of Michael Jackson.
Okay, right.
You know, that led me right to...
Yeah, Mike, bless his soul, greatest entertainer.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Yeah.
You know, they been trying to take him from us.
Right, and they did take him from us.
Oh, my God, but not really. But it was a hell of an effort. You know what I mean? A hell of an effort.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I got you. You know, we the Conrad Murray, Michael Jackson, the Conrad Murray trial. You was down there helping me out. We did that.
Yeah, and I did the 2005 trial. You know, I was credentialed at that big child molestation 2005 trial, and I didn't bring that one. Right.
Michael
Jackson, A Trial and Triumph for the King of Pop.
Right, that was
you know, innocent.
They are great, but that was a good one.
But my True Talk show.
Yeah.
Was the one that you helped me with, and thank you very much.
Right.
And we had Earl Hutchinson, Afari Hutchinson. We had Dr. Rosie Milligan. We had the Moody Boys, the Moody Twins.
I remember.
Who else did we
have?
We had a couple more people. That came.
What was that producer's name?
I forget his name.
Oh, but we're gonna get him the next time. He's a good guy.
And so when I had that show, Dr. Earl Afari Hutchinson and I were, he was like my mentor at that time, and this is way back in 2005.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah,
17 years ago. And he asked me to go to the Michael Jackson trial to pass out flyers.
Right.
But at the time I had my show. You know, it was leased access. It was on Monday through Friday at midnight from 12 to 12:30. And for that, just so happens coincidentally, with that show, I qualified as the only black-owned media credentialed to cover that trial.
Wow, that's deep right there. But glad it was you.
Yeah, I know he was. Yeah, I was there for him because I learned that he was innocent. But I was willing to hear that he wasn't, because you have to be open-minded as a journalist, as a reporter. But I learned that he was totally, completely, thoroughly innocent. And I produced a documentary called Michael Jackson: The Trial and Triumph of the King of Pop. And it's recorded in real time, because I did True Talk shows on that. So as I would go into the courtroom, and then I would come out and I would report on it. And so it's in real time. So it's not like I produced it afterwards. You see what I mean? I put it together afterwards, but it was already, I had all the footage I needed from the True Talk shows to do the documentary. So it was recorded in real time. And in real time, I'm coming out going, they lying. You know what I mean? He don't, he's got, Black Beauties, porn, girly magazines. He got Pimps Up, Hoes Down. He had Barely Legal, which is a girly magazine. He had subscribed to Hustler and all these, and he was embarrassed, I'm sure, but he was like, thank God. Yeah, they know where I'm interested. And so we knew his sexual orientation was regular adult heterosexual through his, even, I think one of them, Playboy or something, he had a subscription for like 10 years. Wow. You know what I mean? So they were like, okay. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. So he was acquitted on everything. But I had predicted it while I was doing my True Talk shows, because I was just telling the truth. The truth is the best defense, and the truth is the best thing to do. So ladies and gentlemen, Pearl Jr., our guest, if you want to get in touch with Pearl Jr. or you're interested in her products here, you can leave us a message or give us a call here at the station, and send us an email, and we will gladly get in touch with you. And so that email is going to be KTYMradio@gmail.com. And thank you very much for that. And now we got another one. Our next one is Alive 2, Michael Jackson. 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3 are all in.
Okay. It's a trilogy.
Yeah. Okay. So that's. I guess we just got. Oh, so they're all.
No. I'll talk about it. Yeah, I'll talk about it, because that is the most interesting thing. So after I covered his trial, and Warner Brothers, Joe, his father, Papa Joe. Yes, Papa Joe. Bless his rest in peace. And I went to the family's memorial as well with the whole family. With his death announcement, fans had trusted me because of my coverage at the trial, and they're like, something's wrong with his death. Something's weird. And I was like, what do you mean weird? I was the first person to tweet that that the ambulance was at his house. I was the first person in the whole wide world to tell anybody something's going on in Carrollwood, 100 Carrollwood, which is where he was living. And I knew an ambulance was there only because the girl, Linda, the MAPS lady, I was there the day before the death announcement. And I found out the day before a doctor was spending the night. And I was like, well, so I thought maybe he's okay. Doctor's spending the night, he got to be all right, right? And then, I went down and I was at UCLA before anybody else pretty much. And then the announcement came from Jermaine. Not a doctor, by the way. Jermaine announced his brother dead, right? Not a doctor. And said, my brother, the legendary King of Pop, has died, right? And of course, I'm brokenhearted. I'm there. I'm messed up. I'm like, oh my God. But he was wearing a shirt on the back that said, living as king. What do you mean? Living as king?
Send them secret messages.
Living as king. Okay, that's a little strange. All right. And then the fans were telling me, the death certificate's in the wrong name. What do you mean it's in the wrong name? And they were saying, there's no name on his crypt. What do you mean there's no name on his crypt? And the autopsy doesn't seem to match. And, and so I had 2 notebooks full of notes because I really believed that Michael Jackson had died. And it wasn't until February of 2010 the death date was June 25th, 2009. That I read the book, Is Elvis Alive? Right?
Right.
And Cecil had it. He was an Elvis fan, right?
Okay.
Cecil, we had it in our library.
Me too.
Elvis was cool. I seen the new Elvis movie. They gave, he was a culture vulture, but hey, they gave us our props finally in the last Elvis movie that he got his rhythm from the black church.
Oh yeah.
So anyway. And so all these weird things were going on that didn't make any sense, right? And so after I read Is Elvis Alive book, I was like, Michael copied Elvis's death hoax completely and thoroughly. Yeah. And at that point, I decided to write a book. So it's not here. It's an e-movie book called Pseudocide. Did Michael Jackson fake his death to save his life? Yeah. And since then, I've done another full-length documentary that was on Netflix. This was on Netflix. Yeah. And then I did a live 2, and then I did a live 3.
Can you still get it on Netflix?
No. It was only a 2-year contract, so it was on from 2011 to 2013. Okay. And then since then, more and more information kept coming that said Michael Jackson faked his death. Right. And so now I have a live 1, a live 2, a live 3, and then
number 4
right there. A live 4. With the most astounding, crazy information that you could imagine. That there's just so much that doesn't prove that dead body was Michael Jackson's. Michael was great at using dummies. He had wax figures. He had impersonators. He had stand-ins. He had doubles. Yeah. That dead body wasn't Michael's. Period.
And so
he got ghost.
Yeah, Michael got ghost. He's gone.
No, that means he just disappeared, but he's alive.
He's alive and he's not gone.
He's not gone.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, Pearl Jr., I guess this evening, if you have some questions for her, the call-in number is 213-461-7669. Again, 213-461-7669. And this short film here, A Prisoner of Love.
Of Fame.
Yeah, Prisoner of Love. Prisoner of Fame. I'm sorry, forgive me. Yeah, Prisoner of Fame. Pay closer attention, Cal. Elbow Grease Productions. Now, how long is this?
Well, the short film is based off of Alive 2, the facts that are in Alive 2. So what I did was I took facts, like I took testimony from the Conrad Murray trial, which I attended. And you attended with me, the Conrad Murray trial. I took facts from the autopsy. I took facts from Forest Lawn, all kinds of facts to tell you guys that propofol was never given to Michael Jackson. I learned that is the funniest story because they couldn't figure out, on all propofol bottles there's this little tab, right? This little piece of plastic that you pull and you hang it up on the pole. And so it can be a drip. Well, none of those tabs were pulled on any of the bottles, even the empty ones, right? So that's why they invented this contraction where, they opened up a saline bag and put the propofol in the saline bag, and that's how it was dripped, which is outrageous when all you have to do is pull the little plastic thing and hang it up, right? They forgot to do that. Wow. When they were setting up the death hoax, they forgot to do that. But that's new information that I found out later. But A Prisoner of Fame is about Michael and Conrad Murray switching out the bodies. And another piece of brand new information, one of the detectives that watched the autopsy said on television, I did another TV show on the Travel Channel called The World's Most Unsolved. And the police officer, the detective said, I'm sitting here looking at the body, and I'm going, that don't look nothing like Michael Jackson.
Wow. A lot of loose ends.
He said, and not only that, Conrad Murray has said when he got back from the bathroom, the body didn't look like the same person. He also said that in his book. He looked differently.
He was in there.
He said the body looked different.
What's he talking about?
Because Conrad Murray in this short film shows how they plotted it. This short film is based on facts, so it shows how they plotted it together. So it's a really good short film. It's dramatic, and it's just really, really good. It was a body double. It's just really good.
Right, yeah.
And I know it sounds crazy to some people to hear that, because we've been brainwashed, and a lot of times through repetition we think something is true because it's been repeated.
It's so much crazy stuff going on. There's no, you can't doubt anything.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You can't doubt anything.
I highly recommend anybody to Calvin. I highly recommend anybody to watch, especially my Michael Jackson stuff. It's called MichaelJacksonInsider.com.
Right.
Is the website you go to.
Right. Yeah. MichaelJacksonInsider.com. Yeah. Very interesting site. You got a lot of stuff. You've been working on this for a while.
Yeah, you know my YouTube channel has over 600 videos, almost 8 million views now.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
So they could just type in Pearl Jr.
Pearl Jr. Michael Jackson, and it'll come up.
Yeah. And so they'll be able to contact you and get information or purchase one of these products. This is 6 beautiful pieces of knowledge.
And I didn't bring a couple.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this again, though.
Okay.
You know, and so we'll have some video. You know, to show. You know, we'll do the video, but you know, we needed to get in. Old friends need to conversate, so we're getting in conversation.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. We'll take them slow. You know, but we're gonna take them with us. So. And so, have you decided what your next project is?
Well,
or what
yes. Are you working on? Well, I want to do an Alive 5. I still have more information to do an Alive 5. That's how much, because it's ongoing. The family, the state, everybody leaves all these clues. So it's kind of like they play with us, the believer community, and then they say something else to the world, but they keep us going, the believer community going, and we're you know. Probably, well, I told you my YouTube channel has 8 million views, almost 8 million views on it now. So there's a lot.
And they making bank on Mike and ain't sharing it with the family.
Well, no. Catherine is still the head of the state, and she gets everything. Okay, as of now. And the probate has not closed as of yet. Okay. And Leaving Neverland is, we done found 60 lies told amongst Wade and James, 60.
Well,
60.
Might be a lawsuit or something.
No, there's a thing, you can't defame somebody who's considered dead, you know. So there is a lawsuit. HBO, the estate is suing HBO because they signed an agreement when Michael did sign a contract with Live from Bucharest that they were never ever to disparage Michael forever. Okay. And so there's a HBO arbitration lawsuit that should be happening in 2023.
2023, that's right around the corner.
That's right around the corner.
Yeah, man, it's moving fast, isn't it?
Moving fast.
Yeah. And so, again, I'm glad to have you with us this evening.
I'm glad to be here with you again, Calvin. It's like old times.
Hey, you know, friends are always friends, you know?
Yeah, friends are always friends.
We're still on this journey.
And I always appreciate you and your wisdom that you would give me and encouragement that you have given me throughout the years.
Oh, thank you very much for that. But you as encouragement as well. That's why we're sitting here together right now. You know, we 2022, man.
Yeah, I know, gosh.
Yeah. This, you know, we didn't get here overnight. We haven't gotten anywhere, but we're here.
You know, we're still here.
Yeah, we're here. We're here, man. You know, so anyway, appreciate you coming in, and so give out your information again so that the people will give you.
Okay, sure. I'm Pearl Jr., and you can just Google Pearl Jr., or you can go to my Michael Jackson website, and I promise you won't be disappointed. I absolutely promise you that your mind will be blown with facts, proof, evidence, and clues that Michael Jackson escaped the BS and faked his death, and just so that he can get all these successful projects have been his.
Great. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
And so MichaelJacksonInsider.com.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it straight from Pearl Jr. And so we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the show. Be sure to stay in touch. 9 o'clock, 9:30. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.